Hi everyone, I'm Michael Tyson. This is Mobile Growth Podcast where we discuss how to grow apps, how to monetize them successfully. Today, our guest is Vahe Bagdasaryan. He is a senior growth marketing manager at CoinStats. And as a growth marketing manager at CoinStats, he's responsible for lifecycle marketing campaigns that aim to increase conversion. One of the things I think is increasing the conversion of trials to paying customers. Another one is increasing retention. But I guess you can tell us about it yourself much better than I do. Let's start with that. Tell us a little bit about your experience and what you're currently doing.
Yeah, hi Michael. Thanks for having me today. Yeah, as you mentioned, I'm a senior growth marketing manager at CoinStats. What I focus like at different things. One of the things that I'm leading the lifecycle marketing that is focused on optimizing subscriptions, improving the retention and engagement of the platform, and some other responsibilities include monetization, pricing strategy, optimizing subscriptions, paywalls, and also the onboarding flows and everything that falls behind.
Got it. Yeah, that's super relevant and super interesting topics always. How to A/B test stuff, how to optimize paywall experience, onboarding experience, to increase conversion rate. But maybe just let's start with a couple more questions about what is CoinStats, what's the product there, what kind of users use it.
Yeah. CoinStats is a crypto portfolio manager app. Basically, we are the biggest in the market, and what we are doing, if you have in crypto investment in many different places, like in different exchanges or wallets, it becomes hard to manage everything that it's in different places. So basically what you do, you bring all these your accounts, whatever you have, Coinbase, Binance, and MetaMask or something, you connect everything to CoinStats and manage everything from one place. We have more than 1 million monthly active users, and our users are managing more than, I guess, 100 billion in total assets to our platform.
Wow, that's really impressive. And you can even do the trades just from CoinStats interface.
Yeah, we also have some additional functionalities that helps our users to do also trades from one place, swap their cryptos to one another from the same place, and even do staking, like stake their cryptos to earn interest rates over them.
Got it. And I guess a lot of the times, like fintech apps, they monetize by charging some fee on the transactions, on the volumes, and so on. But in this case, I guess you mentioned that you're using subscription. Can you tell us a little bit
Uh,
about that?
So basically, subscriptions are the biggest revenue stream that we have at this moment, because originally when our founders started the CoinStats, we didn't have the functionality to execute transactions through a platform. So the subscription was the first choice. And throughout the years, the subscriptions became the prominent channel for revenue. And this our biggest chunk of the revenue comes to subscriptions. And then when we add this new additional functionalities like buying crypto through our platform or swapping their tokens from one to another, transaction revenue also started to be a part of the revenue, but at this moment, subscriptions are accounting the larger sum of the revenue.
Got it. I think the next question is, how do you come up with the subscription price then? I mean, you can tell us about this in the context of your app or just in general, how to approach uh, the pricing of subscription.
Yeah. Like for years, CoinStats had some pricing model. Like there was a pro plan, a premium plan that just the founders felt that way, and decided we're gonna have a pro plan and a premium plan, and they just priced based on what was, I guess the average price for that market at the time. So I guess about like 2 years ago already, we decided we need to take this very seriously. We gotta do some pricing strategy, pricing study to understand how is the best way to price our product. So we started to actually analyzing our revenue and understanding like what part of it comes through this pro plan that we had, and what part of it comes through the premium plan, what part of users are subscribed to this monthly plan or the annual plan. So we did all this, studies to understand what is the current state of our revenue model. And what we did next, we decided to run some pricing tests and analysis to understand what is the willingness to pay of our customers. So we adapted two mechanisms, and one of them is this one wasted drops, pricing strategy, pricing sensitivity method, which is one of the famous, and most of the folks are using this. And what we did, we ran this analysis for. If you don't know it, it's this framework that helps companies to measure the willingness to pay of your customer of their customers by asking a few very simple questions. At what price you think this product is overpriced, at what price you think this is fair price, and what is too cheap, etc., etc. So it's just like kind of like 4 questions, and then it helps you to understand where the willingness of to pay of your customers are laying. So we did it like in a very interesting manner. What we did, we ran this analysis for our web users separately and the mobile users, because we also have a web product. And we also kind of run this among our power users. These are the users who has a lot of portfolios connected to CoinStats, and we also run this among the users who didn't have anything connected to CoinStats. Like this were users who comparably has lower engagement rates. And also we did some run it for some geos, like for the US, for the Europe, for Middle East, etc., because we have users from almost all over the world, right? So then we studied the results of this analysis and come up with a price. And what a lot of folks are doing, they're just taking this for granted. And like if the analysis shows you that it's 99.99 per year, just taking it and moving forward with this price. What I like to do, for me, the results of this test is not to come up what's gonna be your price of the product, is to come up with an A/B test, right? So, for example, if the analysis shows that the user's willingness to pay of like 89.99, we're not going to price our product as 89.99 and take it for grace. What we do, we take that number and then we do A/B testing. We gonna A/B test this with 190.99 or 51.99, something like this, in a broad ranges, to understand, right, this is the willingness to pay, but how is it in a live action, right? Because sometimes users say something, but they actually prefer very different things. So my advice and what I like to do is just try to get some A/B test from this pricing analysis. And also it's a good way to understand if your product has second time offer, third time offer, which usually is a bit discounted. You can draw some conclusions from this analysis to understand what the price of the second offer can be and what the price of the third offer can be. And the first time, after all of this, for the first time, we also introduced localized pricing that actually helped us to improve our revenue from regions where historically we didn't have a lot of subscribers. That regions like particularly like Eastern Europe, Ukraine, Belarus, Latvia, Lithuania, etc. That part of the Europe, when there were we didn't have many subscribers from there, but when we introduced this localized pricing, we started to see the growth of subscriptions from these countries. And the problem with localized pricing is at scale, it becomes very difficult to manage. So if you have a proper infrastructure, I guess it's worth to do it. Or if you don't plan to run, aggressive A/B tests on them, or continuous A/B tests, I guess you can apply some localized pricing tests and see if it's gonna help you to increase your revenue. But yeah, basically that's the process that we went through to decide the price of our product. Also, as we do still continuous A/B tests to try to optimize and see what is the best price that also brings a lot of revenue, but also converts better.
Got it. So, like, to highlight several things that you said, like, first you need to actually ask your users, but you can't trust it's just one data point. You can't trust them completely because they might be saying one thing, but they might be not converting, not buying at this price, which they say is fine, or maybe otherwise they can like prefer the low price when you ask them, but they're ready to pay higher price. So you come up with some hypotheses and then you test them. And I think another important thing that you mentioned is that the range of the prices should be pretty high. You shouldn't like change the price by 5% because it will be very hard to see the difference and understand like the sensitivity, how it affects the conversion rate. So you should go with like wide, I think you mentioned like from 50 to 150, I would say, for an annual subscription to really see the difference and understand how the conversion rate changes. uh Understood. And so what's the current setup for the app in the sense of duration? I think another important aspect is the duration of the subscription. How do you think about like offering annual subscription versus monthly subscription versus other durations? Do you have any advice on that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good question. As you can see, a lot of subscription companies are trying to uh, sell their annual offerings more, and it's like actually like two reasons. First of all, it brings cash flow up front, and if you're on paid ads, it helps you to boost your paid UA activities because you're receiving the full cash flow in advance. Second thing is the retention. A lot of subscription apps are not able to retain better and good, so it's better to try to sell your annual plans instead of monthly, because it may be in a 3 months or 4 months uh, they might churn. So that's why it's better to monetize your annual subscriptions. For our case, it was always annual, so most of our subscribers were uh, mainly subscribed to annual packages, and uh, we didn't. We ran some initiatives to increase the levels of the users, the number of users who are subscribed to annual packages, but it was there. So mostly our users are subscribing to the annual packages. I think it can be industry specific thing maybe, or a customer behavior thing that just this is my finance tool and I'm gonna use it every day or something, and it's better to maybe subscribe to an annual plan and save some money. And we also have a good retention of subscribers, because we are fintech tool, and over the time we become the tool that they go every day or every week to check their investment. So yeah, for our case, the setup was like that.
Got it. Another question that I have regarding like the paywall is how do you actually measure or set up the experiments for paywall and also include the onboarding flow into the story? So do you kind of do just separate paywall A/B testing, or you want to test it with the whole onboarding flow, like and test the whole funnel from the first screen a user sees to the paywall?
Yeah. So we run this A/B test differently from each other. The first one, like, we do run A/B tests in our onboarding to optimize our onboarding metrics, such as the conversion rate from onboarding to connecting portfolio to CoinStats. And we also run this A/B test for paywall to optimize the paywalls. We kind of do not connect the whole flow each other from the very first moment to the paywall view and taking a free trial or converting to the subscriber. We run this A/B test for onboarding and for the paywalls. Yeah, we have paywall in, for example, in the end of the onboarding, and we focus at this moment, and we try to A/B test different paywalls in the end of the onboarding and try to optimize for free trial conversion from onboarding.
Got it. Got it. What would you like maybe list as the key things to test to try to actually boost revenue growth, especially if you're maybe starting or you have a little bit of the revenue? Like, what would be the best levers to pull?
Yeah, there are some basic things that I guess everybody talked about already, and uh, it's really because it's really impactful and it's very, very easy to set up, right? First one is a lot of people don't track these metrics that is installed to the paywall view. I mean, that's very famous. A lot of folks are talking about it. But I guess it's worth to talk about this metric very often because it's really underrated. Because from our case, before, very like percentage of our users were seeing our paywall because we didn't have it in the end of the onboarding and it was only in the settings. So users should specifically look at premium package in the settings to be able to see paywall, or they another way they could hit the paywall where they were reaching the limit of the transactions in the premium plan or the portfolio limit in the free plan. So there are like two cases when a user can reach to the paywall. So what we did, we added the paywall to in the end of the onboarding, and it skyrocketed the free trials that we're seeing in a daily or like more weekly basis. The other thing is that a lot of people don't like to do is showing the paywall at every app open or at least once per day to all their customers. There are some apps that they are doing this, but some other CEOs or some growth folks, etc. They don't like seeing this, showing this very often every day to all people because it can get on people's nerves and they can just delete your app, or it can result bad negative reviews on app store, etc., etc. What you can do is just show it like very number of people every day, or at least once a day, or once in 2 days. Like you take like 5% of your daily active users and you all only show the paywall once every app open per day to only this 5%. And then you can shuffle, like 1 month we work on this 5%, the other month to this percent. So do not get people's nerves, but it's also it can be very, very effective, and I guess it's a good test to do to be able to get new subscribers. Another things that you can do that's again a lot of folks talk about, and we also tested it many times, that can be very useful, is the video paywalls. Actually, the funny thing is when we first introduced video paywalls, it didn't convert well compared to what we had at this moment. And then a few months later, we said, okay, let's try this again. We tried it, and this time it really converted better than we had at
What changed it? It's super interesting to know. Like, what have you changed? So it didn't work the first time, but it worked the second time.
Yeah, for the first time, actually, the Paywall had this promotional video that was this phone was opening in a very creative manner, or and showing this highlights about the app, etc., etc. And it didn't convert better. So the second time, we were like, all right, we're gonna just do a screen recording, a little bit improve it, and put it there, and just screen recording converted better than this video that we worked on, spend times on creating and making sure it's proper and it's a good ad material. Yeah, and didn't cover, but this one that is not this promotional, more like explainer, showing what the feature, how the app works, what is this premium feature, etc. That video works.
So the video with like just screen recording of the app showing the features of the app actually worked best because it kind of provided the onboarding experience. It showed what the app actually provides. And was it like included specifically in the paywall? It was like some of the onboarding steps, or it was directly in the paywall?
I mean, it was in the paywall, like not in the onboarding process, but in the paywall that explains what are the premium features, how they can get them, what are the benefits of these features. Like that was a screen recording that was shows. It was showing how to access your cumulative profit and loss analysis, and it's like we also have this, and this is how you can generate these charts that can help you to get a sense of your investments. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, I think there are a lot of good advices here. I've even wrote down some bullet points. we should like kind of include this into the notes to this podcast episode.
Mhm.
Did
Yeah,
I
actually, Yeah, sorry, yeah. Then actually, the other this very important thing that also, and it's working, and not everyone is trying that is the lifecycle marketing campaigns, optimizing for lifecycle marketing campaigns. And there are actually a few journeys that you can set up that can help you to optimize your subscriptions. For many of users, if you look at your data, you can see that many of users are just either just like canceling your paywall or just tapping on start my free trial button, whatever you call it, and then just exiting this native iOS pop-up. For some reason, a lot of
Yeah.
folks do this. And what you can do, you can trigger cycle marketing campaigns from this event when somebody exits your paywall, or you can exit this native pop-up, and this kind of like abandoned cart
Yeah.
notifications that you can send to your users through push notification, email, or whatever channel you have. For our case, it's working. We started to experiment with it, and it's like uh, really helping us to get these users back to the flow and getting them to subscribe for
Do you need
things.
that's an interesting question here. So you have these users who have some intent to buy, but they didn't subscribe. Do you offer any discounts maybe to this specific segment of users with your like push notifications or email communication?
Yeah, we do, but not at the first touch point. For example, you saw our paywall and you exited the paywall. We start to send you this card abandoned notifications, whatever it's an email or push notifications, and we just try to get you back to the flow to continue to your subscription journey, let's say. And we deep link this to the paywall. And when you click on the button, the email or push notification, we open the paywall in the app. But now, after like 2 3 notifications, if we see you are not converting for the free trial, we start to offer you discount in like the third or fourth notification. You might get, it's now like 30% off or something. We uh try to engage you with the discounts, and it's also a good strategy. But I guess you can just start not to offer discounts at at the first. Just
Yeah.
try to convince them that there is a lot of value in the product, and you actually get a benefit from subscribing, even for a free trial. And you see if there is a really low intention towards paying the full price. I mean, somebody can be really interested in your product, but they're just, they can't afford to pay the full price. And just offering them like 20 or 30% discounts can get them to subscribe for your offerings.
Yeah, that makes sense. And do you have maybe any benchmarks, or at least what people should expect to see from these additional campaigns, maybe in terms of how much incremental revenue, maybe
Yeah.
10% of incremental revenue can be driven by these campaigns?
Mhm, mhm. I never tried this outside of CoinStats. I'm not sure what's gonna be for our industries. For our case, we get more than 1% conversion rate from these push notifications. I'm not talking about additional revenue. I'm just talking
Yeah.
about users, the results of
Like
these
starting a
campaigns.
trial, like conversion to trial or conversion to subscription.
Yes. It's a between 1 or 2% we get this conversion from this push notifications campaigns that we run.
Mm-hmm. Got it. And maybe you have some tips on the retention side then. Let's say users have subscribed already. What do you do to retain them?
Yeah, there is. That's a very tough point, and I guess a lot of, or maybe all, I guess, subscriptions apps are struggling with the retention. And in our case, we have, as I said, two products. It's web and mobile. Usually on web, you have retention compared to mobile, and also I guess web offers you a lot more opportunities to try to keep the subscriber than mobile. And there are a few, for example, on web we set up these subscription offboarding flows that don't let the user to immediately cancel their subscriptions. We offer them discounts, and we offer them to talk to support, offer them free extra benefits, etc., etc. We just try to, and it's sort of like two things, right? The first one is we get to know why our users are canceling their subscriptions because there's a survey in it, and also there is an option to talk about the support agent. And there also it helps you to convince some of users to keep their subscription. What we do, we say, let's give you like 2 months of on your next subscription, or let's switch you from annual to monthly to save some money, and also pause your subscription for 2 months or 3 months. A lot of people actually are choosing this option, they're pausing their subscriptions. They are maybe the market conditions are not good. I'm not investing actively at this moment, so I'm not gonna get the full value of your product. Let's just pause my subscription for a few months to see how market is doing, and then we can resume our subscription.
Yeah, I think with the pausing of subscription, I guess if you like allow a user to save some settings so he doesn't have to like reconnect stuff, set up everything from the scratch, this has some value, and like he can consider.
We don't require them to change anything. They just button that says pause my subscription for 2 or 3 months, and they pause, nothing changed. Their portfolios are there, everything is there, and after 3 months we continue to charge them if they don't change their preferences. Or the other thing is if customers churn churn, as you know, like there's like two types of churn: the voluntary and involuntary churn. In the case of involuntary churn, there's a lot of things you can do. You can uh, show them these pop-up messages that worked our case very well, that says update your credit card details because we couldn't charge you. Or they will get us, and this is for web mainly, because on mobile you can't do it, but anyways. And the other one is like, we see that your card is gonna expire in like 2 weeks. If you don't want to experience some service interruptions, update your credit card details, we'll be able to charge you at the in your renewal date, right? There are a lot of things you can do there. Another thing that we can do is like, and we are doing, is for mobile and for all your subscribers overall, is to understand these churn patterns. What we do, we use Amplitude for product analytics, and we try to build the cohorts of these users who churned, to try to run some correlations, the basic correlation analysis, to understand why these subscribers are churning and what patterns are there. For example, a basic thing can be the users who cancel their subscription, basically churn, started to do not use X feature like 2 weeks before the churn. Yeah. So what we do, we create this cohort of users, the dynamic cohorts, and we then link them with our CRM system. We use Iterable for CRM. And then when this dynamic cohort starts to behave like users who churned, we start to send them some engagement materials, try to get them increase their engagement with the platform. Thus, we try to make them to use the platform more, and it's gonna maybe change their minds about canceling. And we also constantly start to remind these folks about the benefits that they're receiving from CoinStats.
Yeah, I got it. So you kind of try to identify first through the analytics, through the product analytics, you identify the patterns that predict the churn. And then you try to actually change the pattern of the user, make him use this feature, which if he uses, then the churn is less likely, and by this reducing the churn.
Yes. And we see, for example, if we see, every product has different use cases, as CoinStats, and we see that a lot of users are churning because they're satisfied with their current use case. For example, if you're a trader, now the market conditions are not good, and you say, well, I'm not going to trade at this environment, and the use case is down for you, right? And we try to onboard this user to other use cases, like, all right, you don't trade, but we have these newsletters, we have these research materials, so we have these NFT features. Maybe you're interested in this. Maybe NFTs can be interesting for you. So we try to onboard them also from one use cases to another use cases to prevent churn.
Got it. I think yeah, that was super interesting, and I think I asked most of the questions. I just have a random question, not
Yeah, sure.
connected to subscriptions, like how NFTs are doing. Do you see like the volume dropping there, or they're still doing fine?
Yeah, it's crazy down if you compare like 2 years ago. I
yeah,
guess if I'm not sure about the number, but I believe it is down like more than 90%. The volume of NFTs are down more than 90,
90%.
yeah, 90% compared to 2 years ago.
Yeah,
And there are some collection that worth millions 2 years ago. Now they're like a couple $1,000. And it's really crazy what's happening in the NFT market this month. But I'm optimistic, and I
yeah.
hold some NFTs, and I believe yeah,
Do you expect the crypto market to rebound in general, like Bitcoin to the
yeah,
moon?
yeah, yeah, definitely, yeah, yeah. We're
Okay,
optimistically waiting to that. We believe, and we also believe to NFTs. That's why we are creating a new cool features for NFTs. We recently launched this new feature that's called CoinStats Midas. It's an NFT trading tool that helps you to identify the promising collections earlier in the market when they are at the lowest price, but there is a probability that the price gonna increase. So we have pretty much good progress there, and a lot of NFT traders are using it, and they're very interested in this feature.
got it, got it. So the message to all our listeners: if you trade crypto, also just check out the CoinStats app. Maybe it will help you to become a better trader, or just stay on top of your crypto trading game. I guess that's it for today. Maybe Vahe, just tell us how our listeners can find you. What's the best way to connect with you?
Sure, sure. I'm on LinkedIn and I'm also on Twitter. So it's on my name, Vahe Bagdasaryan. So feel free to reach me out on LinkedIn and Twitter. I also run a subscription optimization course on Maven. We did, two cohorts already, and I'm not sure when the third cohort will start. We'll see. But if you're just interested, you can just sign up in a wait list.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically,
absolutely. I think that this can be super interesting. We'll attach the links to that, including to the course, to the notes of this episode. Um,
awesome.
all right, then. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, bye bye.
Yeah, bye.